What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Creamy Craft. We're at the Iron Farm, and if you can tell by today's episode, by today's episode, it's gonna be a bit of a serious topic. Ooh, look at that apartment building. I'm a little nervous because it's a pretty personal, and you know how it is about putting personal stuff on the internet. It's pretty much there forever. So, oh, and I've been trading with the iron and the emeralds and get the things with the things. But we're a bit of a serious subject today. It is Suicide Awareness Month for all of September. And coincidentally enough, the day that this video I'm hoping releases is Suicide Awareness Day, which coincidentally is also the day I attempted suicide. I know it's hard to say. I was in like a really dark place at the time, and I'm here to tell you some of that story and the tools that I used to help me be here where I am today, and just kind of my experiences. And while we do that, I'm just gonna run around and do some chores. So, fair warning, it's pretty dark-ish. So if you've got kids or these kinds of things make you uncomfortable, you know, go ahead and leave now. But let's just kind of get into it, I guess. So it started. I'm trying to think of dates because it's been 2 years. 2 years tomorrow, on the day this video releases, September 10th. But, you know, it never starts the day it happens. It normally, months or even a year or two. But, for me, it really was, the day that my partner, who I'm not going to name, we'll just call her partner, left. And it was like August 1st, July 31st, somewhere around there, because it happened overnight. And I was playing, because I remember this, I was playing Warframe with a couple friends. And she had come home from work, and, you know, at the time, I was focused on gaming instead of the life experience. What am I trying to do? Okay. Life experiences with, you know, the people in my life instead of, and not like saying it's bad. I need to get this covered up. That it's bad to have, you know, gaming experiences, but at the time I was focused too much into being on the games instead of, you know, splitting the time like I do nowadays with family and friends. So at the time she was wanting, you know, she had just got home from work and she was wanting attention and stuff, and I wanted to just go back and game. And she told me she was leaving me, that she had already had a house and that we were no longer going to be together. And it's that was hard. Like, just, in anime, when something like that happens in the character, they do like that glass breaking animation. That's what it felt like. It just shattered me. And I remember just breaking down, crying, and I didn't know what to do. So I went back and breaking down, went back to my computer and told Punchy, a good friend, bless him, because he's part of this story too, and told him basically in tears that she left me and that I had to go and take care of, well, not take care of, but I just had to leave. And he's a good friend. I'm gonna be saying a lot of because I'm trying to process my thoughts as I'm retelling this story. But yeah, I've just broken down, crying, and I was like, I gotta go because I was gonna go see my mom, who at the time lived in town, and I left the Discord, I left the game, I put my shoes on, a shirt, and I walked out of the house. And I walked to my mother's house, which is, at the time, it was a decent walk. It was probably like 15 minutes before I got there, and like the whole time, just processing what she had said and, uh, trying to. I'm looking for a stone cutter, and up here, okay. And at the time, I finally get there. I knock on the door, and her boyfriend answered, and I was like, "Is my mom here? I really need to talk to her." And this is late at night, by the way. This is like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's a wonder I didn't get. I feel, looking back now, I feel bad for waking her up at 2 in the morning. But it's your mom. Your mom's gonna know what to do. So, and of course, as soon as I seen her, I broke down all over again because it was hard. Like I said, me and my partner had been together for like 9, almost 10 years when we broke up. And I told her, I was like, she left me. And she's like, who left you? And I was like, my partner. Well, I didn't say my partner, I said her name. But I was just like, she left. And she's like, well, come. And we just sat, and she hugged me, and I don't know, I think I was there for like an hour and a half maybe. And by the time I left, I had to walk back home. And I called Punchy, and I said, hey, I'm doing better now. I'll talk to you sometime later this week. And I let him go do his thing. And so I come home, and I think I crawled into bed next to her, probably for like the last time. And yeah, within like a week or two after she started moving into her new house, we're also gonna clean. I need an axe. I have an axe, don't I? I don't. She had like packed her stuff up and moved into her house, and I helped her do that, because that's just, I don't know, I just helped her. I was trying to be nice and show her that I still cared. And yeah, and because of course she took the kids. We have 3 at the time. We had 3 kids together, and she took them with her. And hey, bud. So yeah, about a month really. And of course, this is school starting back up, so we have to do the whole process of enrolling the kids and all that fun stuff. I really feel like you should get that achievement when you have all the pieces. So, yeah. Now it's about mid-August. Kids have started school. I've started a job because now I'm on my own. Whereas before, she had paid all the bills. And and we're still seeing each other because we got the kids, and we have to be adults about it. And what am I doing? I'm doing something up here. Oh, take all this off. Let's go. And then sorry, I'm done. But yeah, so, and I'm still like, we're still talking, and Jesus. And I'm like, at this point, I'm trying to like mend things so we can get back together. And I don't know what trade I'm trying to look for here, but something easy. I guess we'll just do this. But just trying to get back with her. And make things right. And so we go through most of August talking, and I'm trying to get things to go right and change my ways and all this stuff. And a freaking diamond hoe for 1 emerald. That's crazy. No enchantments, but that's okay. But sorry. And I'm working, I'm dealing with the kid. Well, not dealing with, but taking care of the kids too when I have them on weekends and stuff. And I think one point I showed up to her house and there was like a car there that I didn't recognize. And then you get to thinking like, okay, well, obviously she's moved on. And you're trying to like, I'm trying to like figure out what's going on. Because at the time we're like saying maybe we'll get back together, maybe not. We'll see. But it's hard to say you'll see when like you've got somebody else living with, or not living with you, but coming over to your house and stuff. And you're not going to tell me what, like, who that person is. But yeah, I know. But yeah, and that's just it kind of started putting darker thoughts in my head. I'm like, okay, if we're not gonna get back together, what's really the point? And just all these other darker thoughts that really had no proof of being proven. But the mind is it's a really nasty place when it gets to where I was at. When did I open that? I need these. And I was seeing a therapist, and there were, oh jeez Louise, I just picked up all those pickaxes. Gosh darn it. Here. But yeah. And there was even several sessions where I was breaking down and crying in there, saying like, oh jeez Louise, they don't make it easy on you with these villagers. Off you go. And yeah, it's at this point, it's like really a struggle for me to kind of go through the day. I was drinking definitely a lot more, and then I probably, oh, sorry, than what I'd like to admit. I was definitely using alcohol to help cope with what was going on, and that honestly didn't help things. I'm sorry, this is painful, dude. And just it's yeah. Anyways, I'm trying to paint a picture, and I'm not a very good artist. But yeah, so I was drinking heavily, not heavily, but more than I should have been, and I'm trying to form where this goes. But at the same time, we're still hanging out, and we're like late August, early September, and we're hanging out more. We're doing things with the family like we used to, and I think that gave me like a sense that we were gonna get back together. And we were hanging out, and I was gonna spend the night because the kids, they don't understand what's going on. All they know is that mom and dad aren't living together anymore, and that, excuse me, please don't, thank you, and that that's like all they know, right? Mom and dad aren't living together anymore. They don't know anything else going on. So the kids wanted me to spend the night with them, and like that was gonna happen, but at like the last couple hours before that, she changed her mind and said that I couldn't stay anymore. And then so that like hurt me because she wouldn't explain to me why or anything. So I drop them off at home, or her house, and I go back to my home. And this is August, or not August, September 9th now. And trying to think. We're texting each other. I'm asking like, why couldn't I stay? The kids were really looking forward to it, and I was like, if this is like, and I was like, if there's another guy, just say that, because and like, don't string me along. Just say, hey, I'm seeing somebody else, and we're not gonna work out anymore. Instead of just telling me these things. Oh, that's what I'm here for. And instead of just like, pulling me along, saying, yeah, we're gonna get this and we do that, and she's like, don't worry about it, it's fine. I need a bed. There's a bed down here. And I was getting that feeling, like a gut, like a feeling in your gut where you're like, all right, something's going on. So after I'd been drinking, of course, when I got home, I started drinking again, and I drove to her house at like the dead of night. This is not my proudest, okay? This is definitely not my proudest moments coming up. But I drove over like by her house to see what was going on. And like I pulled over and her car's parked in a different spot than normal. I'm like, well, that's weird. Drunk me is, that's weird. And there's a car parked in the garage. So, and when you're drunk, you just, well, for me, immediately jump to whatever, like, to the worst possible thing. Like, oh, she's got a guy over and, she's done with you. It's finally over. You've messed up enough that she's moved on. And that, again, just started crying and breaking down, driving home at faster speeds than should have been done. And of course, now I'm like drunk texting her saying you're a liar and all these other things that are just like I had no proof of what was going on. But anyway, we're moving on. And so, I'm drunk. I'm like texting my mom and trying to call her. And she's like, don't, like, you need to go to bed. You need to just wait and talk to her tomorrow to figure out what's going on. And why did I do that? That's not what I meant. Yeah. And, oh, I hit that donkey. She's like, you just need to go to bed, sleep it off, stop drinking, And these are like pieces of memory I'm trying to put together because I don't remember the night too much. But I remember, like, because I had her dog, Gracie, which is a beautiful corgi, and we still have her. And I drove Gracie back over to her house and just, like, was banging on the door so she could take her dog back. And I'm, like, banging on the door for a while. And it's, like I said, not my best moments. And it's definitely, looking back now, not the best way to have handled that. But, and I'm not using my drunkenness as an excuse, but it definitely didn't help anything. So, after like an hour or so of like banging on the door and not getting any responses, I just dropped Gracie in the backyard and go home. The whole time, like calling her and leaving her voicemails, just yelling at her, which will help the cause so much. I know, right, guys? And then I just went back to drinking again, like heavy drinking, more than should be. And I'm sorry, this is going to be a weird video because I'm not cutting anything. It's just going to be raw. It's just me running around. Anyways, because I've stalled there because it's getting really hard to what I'm about to say. But I just remember tearing the house apart. Or I don't remember it, but yeah, I threw like a dresser apart. I broke a TV. Oh, what are they called? A TV stand? I don't know. It's like what we put our TV on top of. Words are hard. And I basically like just tore the house apart in my rage of what I didn't know. And I fell asleep on the couch. And then I woke up. I can't even remember what time I woke up. But I woke up. I took a shower. And I'm going to give everybody like 5 seconds. Maybe to skip ahead a couple minutes for this next part. And okay, they've had their chance to leave if they wanted to. So after my shower, I took a glass cup. This is after I'm dressed. I took a glass cup and shattered it on the floor. I just threw it, dropped it. I don't remember how. And just broke it. And I used a shards of glass from the broken cup. Oh, jeez, Lucas, give me this recipe, please. To cut my wrist. Well, not really cut, but I was attempting to cut my wrist, which, thankfully, somebody was looking over me or something was going on, because I didn't get deep. Like, I didn't mess up anything on my wrist, and I didn't go across. I went up and down my arm. And, you know, before I did that, I was sending messages to friends and family, like, oh, what did I say? I think I said the devil in my head is stronger than the angel in my heart. Which, at the looking back now, like, why did I say that? What? That makes no sense to say something like that. But at the time, like, that's what was going on for me. Is like, there's something obviously going on in oh goodness, I'm trying to do this where this guy doesn't get out, and I'm not doing a good job. Okay, there we go. I think we're good now. That works. It doesn't work. I don't like that. Oh my god, I did it again. And you know, of course now people are like trying to call me and get a hold of me and figure out what's going on. And you know, of course I have my phone sitting next to me and I'm seeing everything come through and I'm just ignoring it, you know. And finally something clicked in my head, like something finally just like snapped and woke up and said, "Hey, what are you excuse me. What are you effing doing, dude? Like, this isn't the right answer to any of our problems." So I remember just dropping the glass that was in my hand, and you know, I called my mom and I said, "I'm sorry, I messed up, and I need you to come and get me and help me with right now." And she's like, "All right, I'm on my way. Just don't do anything, you know." She's like, "You know, I'm on my way. Just whatever you're doing, stop doing, and we'll be there." And of course, you know, friends are still trying to get a hold of me, and um, she finally shows up, and I'm trying to think of how to do this. She shows up and she's like looking at me at my wrist, and she's like, "I think you didn't get too deep. Yeah, I don't think you hurt anything, but are you okay? Are you gonna be fine?" And I said, "I don't know." She's like, "All right, well, how about you?" And like, as we're talking, an ambulance and a police car show up, and you know, the police are like, "Hey, we got a call saying to like come check on you, make sure you're doing okay." And they're like, they obviously see the scratches on my arm. Because that's what they were. They weren't deep cuts or anything. They were just scratches, thankfully. The glass I had chosen wasn't really sharp enough to cut deep, but it was sharp enough to draw blood. And, you know, there's like, "Hey, we're going to have, you know, these guys check you out just to be sure." And the ambulance guys are like, "Yeah, it doesn't look deep." And, you know, just kind of cleaned it up for me. And then, the officer was like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to go? Because at this point, he's like, I've told him the story, and he's like, well, do you want to go to the hospital? He's like, I recommend you go to the hospital and, get yourself taken care of. And my mom looked at me, she's like, what do you want to do? And I said, yeah, I think I need to go to the hospital. So, luckily they were nice enough and they let me go with my brother and my mom. And, we got checked in. And, of course, when you go in for background, if you go in for suicide or, mental health at the hospital, you lose your phone and you like all your personal belongings. Because, they don't know what's going on. They don't want you to have any interaction with what might be a trigger or whatever triggered what. And so I was at the hospital in my town for I'd say a while, because I was there for lunch. And I left just after lunch to go to Columbia to excuse me, to Columbia at MU for mental help and, to get help with everything that was going on with me. And that's one of the tools, The hospital, when it comes to that stuff, well, for me anyways, in my experience, they were there to help you. Like, at the hospital in my hometown, a counselor came in and talked to me, and she's like, hey, she was asking in a professional way, not just blunt and like, hey, what's going on? She used questions to get parts of the story out of me. And she's like, in my opinion, I think you need to go to MU and get, more help than what we can offer you here. And it'll probably be good for you to get away from here for a while everything is going on. And so, I said, yeah, I'll do that. Because they can't force you. You have to agree to it. Unless you've, really messed up. Like, in my situation, she wasn't forcing me. She was giving me the option to do that. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's probably for the best. It's what needs to happen right now. So, I got a lovely ride in which I took a very nice nap on my way to MU, where I showed up just before dinner, because I showed up, I got checked in, and I ate dinner basically by myself for the first time. Well, I wasn't alone, but the nurses were at the nurses' station, and I'm sorry, I'm looking for more birchwood. I know I cut some. Before I got mixed in with the main group of where I was going to be. And I spent 4 days, basically from September 10th to the 14th. So Thursday, I believe. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday, I got evaluated, and they said that if I wanted to, I could go home. And, in 4 days doesn't seem like a lot, but it was the first time that I can remember where... Why is my inventory so full? Where I hadn't had to have the kids, or... What am I doing? like it had just been a while since I've been away from the kids like that. Like 4 days and a lot of nights. And I got better. I didn't get better. I got the help I needed to put me on the path to getting better. And that's my advice too, is if you do go and get help at like a special care place that takes care of you, and I call it like the 4-day vacation trip as a little joke. It wasn't a vacation, but do the classes. Like anything they offer that you think will help you with what you're going through, go do it. Like that's what the classes are for. That's what the group activities are for. It's to help you help you get on the right path to helping yourself down the road. And again, they're not going to force you. Like you have to be willing to take those steps to get into the right place of where you want to be and how you want your life to go when you get out. So I did every activity they offered. And at night I had a routine of like I'm going to call my mom and let her know that I'm doing okay and ask how everybody's doing at home. Called my ex-partner at the time because she had the kids, so I would tell the kids goodnight and that I loved them and that I'd see them soon. And then of course me and her would talk for a little bit, and so I spent 4 days in Colombia at MU, which I'm thankful for. It was the right call because it definitely put me where I needed to be. Like it recentered me. It put me back on the path of quote unquote lightness. Like I wasn't as in a dark place as I was. And of course on the drive home I'd leave Monday night, or not Monday night, but Monday afternoon-ish. And of course, like, my phone's dead because it's been 4 days and it hasn't been on a charger. So I can't talk to anybody to let them know, hey, I'm coming home, I'm doing this. And I get dropped off at home. And I take a shower. Oh, excuse me. So I take a shower, and while I'm showering, I put my phone on the charger. It gets a little bit of charge, and like the first thing I want to do is see my kids. It's been 5 nights, because the last time I seen them was September 9th when I dropped them off at her house. So, like, of course, the first thing I want to do is I want to see my kids, and I want to like hold them and hug them, and of course, I messaged my ex-partner. I was like, is it all right if I come and, like, hug and see the kids for a little bit? And she's like, yeah, that's fine. Just, don't expect anything from me. I'm like, I don't. Just, like, I want to respect your space now. And I understand that, like, my actions that night weren't the best of me. And so I go and see my kids. And by now, it's like, I'm going back to work the next day. I've got, bills to catch up on. Because when you're gone, bills don't stop. They just don't disappear. There's also parts of the story I'm leaving out because they're not that important. Like, I have a roommate at this point now too, who he's had to, like the bill cycle's coming up, and he's like, you haven't worked for a week almost, and you know, we kind of need the money. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry, but yeah. And then so of course me and my ex partner at the time are still bed. There is a bed in my house. So we're talking, and I'm like still wanting to get back with her, but I'm not pushing it or bringing it up any. I'm just letting life happen. And eventually we do get back together. It happened like the 16th or not the 16th. It happened like 2 weeks or so after I'd gotten back from the hospital. She's like, and so that was great. It was awesome. And then in like mid-October, she ends up telling me she's pregnant, which I took hard because the timeline of me and her getting back together, and when she had supposedly broken up with this guy that she was seeing while me and her were broken up, was too close to tell who the father of the child was. So I had to take a mental day like a mental day from work, and I called my therapist and talked to her about it, and she's like, hey, it's all right to have these feelings because they're your feelings, and just talk to her about it. And glass. Sorry. And at the time I was like upset, and we weren't in this situation to be taking care of another kid because we have 3, and now we're having a 4th, and like we had just gone through all this stuff, or I say stuff, our life experience at the time we had just gone through, and yeah, so me and her finally sat down and we talked about our options, and we decided to give her. We didn't know it was a her at the time, but eventually we found out that it was a little girl, and that we were going to give the baby up for adoption instead of trying to struggle with where we were and put another child through that. It isn't fair to her or the child at the time, and we wanted what was best for the baby. So she got with an adoption agency, and we found this lovely family. And when I say lovely, I mean these two are like a second. They're family. They're not a second. They're not. They're family. And if you're immediate family, you're just watching this and finding this out for the first time, sorry. I don't do well with confrontation, and I don't know. I have a hard time breaking hard news to family. And so, we still, with the adoptive family, we still talk, and we get to see pictures of her, and We know everything that's going on and what's not going on, or how she's doing, how she's been. So we get updates and we get to see her and everything, which is awesome. It's great. And yeah, that's kind of my story. Basically 9 months of not knowing whether or not I'm the father, but you know, it doesn't really matter because for 9 months I was there. Oh, hello. I was there, I was with my partner and I took her to every doctor's appointment. I was there for the ultrasounds, everything, the first heartbeats, you know, and it didn't matter if I was or wasn't. That little girl was mine. And it didn't matter if she was mine by blood or not. Like, that's my fourth child. And it's, the hardest thing to do as a parent is to have to make that difficult decision of saying goodbye to your newborn baby. And like, we got to see her and her stuff when she was born. Well, of course, I got to see her. But I was, lucky enough to be at the hospital when she was born. We spent the 4 days because she had a C-section, and we spent the 4 days with her there, and I got to hold her and be there for her and stuff. Why did I do that? But she's doing great, and that's my story, guys. Efficiency 1. You have efficiency 2, don't you? Efficiency 3. But, so, with that being said, we're gonna get to what I talked about with suicide, and that's, get help. Honestly, I know it's hard. I've been there, trust me. I've been there. I know it's hard. I know the voice in your head is telling you that things are probably better off with you gone, and let me be the first to say they're not. They're not better off with you gone. You're important to somebody, and you have impact on somebody's life. You may not know it, but you do. And if you're watching this video, you're important to me, okay? So get the help. I'm going to put the suicide hotline number or help number on the screen and in the comments. And you have to want it too. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's definitely a hard journey to try and get off of, and unfortunately, I waited too long to get the help, and I did stupid stuff. I made stupid decisions, and I have friends and family to thank though for putting me back on the path. Like after a month or two after I got back, I found out that one of my closest friends had called the welfare check for me. And, and I know she's watching. She's a great friend like that. And I want to say thank you. I honestly don't know if I would have gone to the hospital and gotten the help I needed if it wasn't for the welfare check. So, I thank you. I appreciate you. And You know, she's like I call her sister, and I don't, that's not lightly. She is a sister. She's really important to me, and I appreciate what she's done for me and all that. And all that. So, sister, if you're watching, I love you. I appreciate you. And I thank you from the deepest parts of my heart for you. And then, of course, Punchy. Punchy was. Let's not leave him out. He's my brother, okay? That man. That man is so young. And if not for him, messaging me throughout the whole thing and trying to keep me from doing stupid shit, um, he's a rock. He's a brother. And you know what? He's also the best man for my wedding, which is in almost 6 months or so. I don't know. I'm bad at math. It's in May of next year. So I appreciate him. I love him too. And again, it's just there's people in your life when you really sit down and think about it who mean everything. And of course, there's other friends and family out there, but those two, shout out to them, Punchy and Sister, for being people I can count on to help me when I need it, and a listening ear when I need it. And okay, so we've done a lot of talking. This has gone on a lot longer than I thought it would, but I just want to say, if you need the help, get it, please. You mean something to somebody, and I think if I go with the title that's in my head, I'm gonna list off things I would have missed had I done it. I would have missed the first day of Aurelia's day of school. I would have missed that. I would have missed my brother getting married. I would have missed my youngest brother going to the military. I would have missed amazing memories that I have now with friends, old and new. I would have missed those. And there's plenty more. It's been 2 years. I've been sober for 2 years because I stopped drinking alcohol when I came back. I dumped every alcoholic drink I had in the sink and threw the bottle away. And I haven't had anything since. I'm 2 years sober. And, it's honestly amazing what's happened in my life so far since then. I have new friends. I have a little girl who, even though she doesn't live with us, I love and care for. I have my kids that I love and care for that do live with me. I've got an amazing partner who I'm getting married to next year. I would have missed that. Like, I would have missed the chance to get back together with her and fix things. And I would have left a horrible impression had I gone through with what I did. The last memory she would have of me is me banging on her door and a text message in the morning that said, "I'm sorry, I love you, but the devil in my head was stronger than the angel in my heart." That would have been the last thing she would have had of me. But instead, she gets, we have so many more memories now. And that's, those are all things that I would have missed. So think about that too. If you're having these thoughts, you still have a life. Like I said, you are worth something to somebody. You matter to someone who loves and cares for you. And you just need to, and I know it's going to be hard. It is hard. It's not easy to express your feelings But you need to do that. You need to talk to somebody and say, I'm having these thoughts and I need help. Okay? You can do it. I believe in you. If you need me, my DMs are always open. If not, shoot me a message in the Discord, which is linked in the description. Get the help, please. I care about you. There's somebody else that cares about you. You are not alone, okay? But I think that is where we're going to end today's episode. And if you stuck around for this long, I love you. I appreciate you. And the next episode, we'll be back to our normal... blah, 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 blah. And in our next episode, we'll be back to our normal shenanigans, okay? This was a serious one. Oh my lord. I just almost walked off the edge. Okay, that's why we don't hang around roofs, guys. But, we're gonna go back to our lighthearted, funny content. I really wanted, to get this episode out. I didn't do it last year because I was still struggling with trying to tell my story. But this year, I'm gonna try. And like I said, get the help. All right? I can't say this enough. Please get the help. You matter to somebody. You matter to me, and you are someone, okay? So, I'm gonna sign off here. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. If you need me, message me. And we'll do some actual work in the next episode, okay, guys? Have a good rest of your day. Take care of each other out there. And I'll talk to you all later. Goodbye.